when I come into India, they ask, what are you doing? You know, what are you doing? I say, I'm yoga teacher. And always the first question is, what kind of yoga are you doing? You're a yoga teacher? Big guy like you? I said, yeah, we eat a lot of pizza. A lot of potatoes, a lot of garanga potatoes. Right? This is our worship. We're bhakti yogis. One time we were in a church in Miami distributing books. We were in the airport distributing books. So now it's time to take prasad. We're like, where are we going to take prasad? We need a peaceful place. So there's one little chapel inside of the airport. So let's go in there. So then we went up on the altar. It was just like some little stage. And we all sat there and we had like so many different containers, prasad. And we're laughing and taking prasad and just, you know how devotees are, right? And then some old people coming in, they're praying before the flight. Oh God, I'm scared to fly. And they come in the chapel to pray and we're like, ah, prasad. And they were like shocked. Like these people are, what are they doing? It's supposed to be chapel, temple, right? And we just said, this is actually how we worship God. And what are they going to say? Okay, all right, we're just looking for a little quiet. So we said, okay, we'll be a little quiet. So this is part of our yoga practice. Sometimes yogis, they think you have to go through the ladder. Hatha yoga, dhyana yoga, raj yoga, right? Ashtanga yoga. You have to go up, purify yourself, step by step by step by step. Come all the way up by your power, by your knowledge, by your renunciation. Control your mind, your senses, your body, right? And then when you perfect that, then they think then you come to bhakti, right? But Krishna, he says, forget all of that. Just come to me, surrender to me, and automatically you'll understand what is the meaning of yoga, what is the purpose of yoga. It means to meet Krishna face to face. Yoga means to meet God, right? In devotional service, face to face. So Krishna says, all these other things not required. You just do bhakti. Abandon every other thing. If the goal is you want to understand the absolute truth, and you want to purify and control your mind, to do that, Krishna says, you surrender to me, I'll purify, control your mind and senses for you. And purified mind and senses, no contamination, no filth, no confusion, no illusion, no inauspiciousness, no sinful reactions. Then you can see things as they are. That is the mercy and gift of Krishna and Krishna's pure devotee, bona fide spiritual master. So Prabhupada said this is the most easiest, straightforward and sublime process. Other thing not required. And Krishna says, out of all the yogis, those who are surrendered to me, serving me in loving devotion, they're the best yogis. So when people say, what kind of yoga teacher are you? I want to join that. That one seems easier. Looking at you, that one looks easier. I say, yes, it is. Just come surrender to Krishna, take prasad, chant Hare Krishna, and take some medicine, Hare Katha, Krishna Katha. That's the easy way. And that's the recommended way, especially by Mahaprabhu in Kali Yuga, because we can't do any other thing. Really. We have no other qualification. Okay, so let's read a verse in Bhagavad Gita on this very topic. Are you going to listen today? You are?
Yes.
You're not going to be lost in your mental speculation? You're going to keep your eyes open, your heart open, your mind open? Or you're going to battle Maya? You're going to battle Maya. Krishna says, Mama Maya. How are you going to battle Maya? Oh, I'm fighting against Maya. Oh, good luck. No fighting against Maya. It's only surrender to Krishna, then Krishna tells Maya, okay, release that person. That's the easy way. So not surrender to Krishna, and then we're going to control our mind and senses, which are not belong to us anyway, and then we're going to fight against Maya, our material desires, our material attachments, our desires for sense gratification. How? Better people than us admitted their defeat, and still, what are we going to do? What are we trying to do? Arjuna said to control the mind is like trying to stop the cyclone. Stop. How's it possible? Yes.
But can we say that this fight with Maya is just to, I mean, I want Krishna, and Maya try to, no, come here, no, I want Krishna. I mean, can be this...
It's like if you're getting beat up by some really strong guy, right? Somebody's beating you. You realize, I cannot fight, right? So I need a friend who's like a bodyguard.
Yes.
I need some big personality to come in and back me up. Then I have a chance, right?
Yes.
So Krishna, he's controlling, more powerful than Maya. That's why there's no Maya in the spiritual world. Super soul is only in the material world. And there's no Maya in the spiritual world. So the Maya is in material world, and the super soul is only in material body. So the super soul trying to give the soul intelligence how to maneuver in this world. What is it? We're not material beings trying to have a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings entangled in a material experience. Somebody said that once. It makes a lot of sense. Right? We're spiritual beings in the wrong atmosphere, like a fish out of the water. We're trying to function in this atmosphere, but our soul is coming from another atmosphere. So our soul can only function in a spiritual atmosphere. So we need association with Sadhu Guru Vaishnavas that can create a spiritual atmosphere so that our soul can manifest, flourish, and learn how to think and act and speak and serve within a spiritual environment or atmosphere. Because it's foreign to us now, because of so much asatanga. We sort of know how to deal in the material world, sort of, but with uncontrolled mind and senses, that doesn't go very well. We're all selfish, antisocial, right? Material world, material consciousness means quarreling, fighting, disagreeing, misunderstanding, right? Out of enviousness, jealousy. It's a horrible platform. So we're just trying to manage that, which is mostly hellish. You get some glimpse, but this is not fit place for gentlemen. This is prison house. So the idea is your mind can contaminate you and degrade you and keep you in material life, material consciousness platform. Or your mind can purify you and uplift you and liberate you into a spiritual atmosphere, consciousness, understanding. So the human form of life is rare because we can contaminate and degrade, or we can purify and elevate. We have a choice. Every other form, their consciousness is fixed, more or less. This one, it can fluctuate up and down, depending on our association, good or bad, sat, asat, and the quality of the sound, whether that is sat, spiritual, or asat material, and the topic. Is it Krishna? Is it Bhakti, Dharma, or is it Maya? Material enjoyment, objects of material enjoyment, attraction, attachment to materialism, bodily relations, bodily topics. That's up to us to decide. Who do we want to associate with? And do we want that association to benefit us and purify us and enlighten us and liberate us? Or do we want the type of association that is contaminating, degrading, and pulling down into sinful thoughts, sinful activities, sinful reactions, which is basically the entanglement of the material existence? We can make a choice. So normally all we're hearing is Maya, because we're pretty much addicted to mental speculation. We're our own worst enemy. Krishna said your mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Well, without hearing from Krishna, Sadhu, Guru, Vaishnavas, and hearing Shastra and hearing Krishna, then mostly it's mental speculation, which is controlled by, manipulated by Maya. So most of the time, that's what we're listening to. And that's why that material vibration, material topics, be independent, do your own thing. You don't have to surrender. You can be happy. You don't have to associate with these people, right? You can make your big plan how you're going to enjoy this life. That's what Maya is promising, isn't it? And we're listening to them, and we're saying, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, is that possible? Yeah. Until you try to execute it. Do you know this boxer Mike Tyson? He's a tough guy, right? Really tough guy. So he said, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Everybody has a plan?
It's very philosophical, huh? Okay? Everybody has a plan until it slaps you in the face, punches you in the face. When your plan punches you in the face, your plan's going to change real quick, isn't it? Whoa, this plan doesn't look like it's going to go that well. I thought it was going to be all right. We got a reality check. So let's read a verse, and we'll discuss further. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So reading in the 6th chapter, Dhyana Yoga. And text 6. Bandhur Atman Manastasya Yenatmaivatmanajita Anatmanastu Shatutve Varte Tatmaiva Shattuva. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Can I ask you a question? When you close your eyes, what are you doing?
I'm praying to God Nitaya.
You're praying to God Nitaya? And then are you able to hear and pray at the same time?
No.
Huh? So if the whole time your eyes are closed and you think you're praying to God Nitaya, you're not hearing anything that we're saying. So you think that's effective? You offer your prayer, and then you try to listen. You just listen to your stupid mind. And you're thinking that it's spiritual, you're praying, and you don't listen to any of Krishna instruction. So it's not keep your eyes open, and your ears open, and your heart open, pray to Gaur Nitai, and then listen to Krishna's instructions. Don't just be lost in your head, oh, I'm just praying to Gaur Nitai, me and Gaur Nitai. This is Maya. Offer your prayer and listen to Krishna's instructions. The whole time you're just sitting with your eyes closed, just listening to your mind, oh Gaur Nitai, oh my mind, me, mine, I, me, mine. It's not the way to do it. Krishna says, listen with rapt attention. Here, not up there. You understand? Otherwise, you're still praying like this all class, every class, just to go Nitai to hear anything? Why is it not working? Can you shut up the AC? Please. So Krishna says, for one who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. Is your mind the best of friends? But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. So are we living with the best of friend or the greatest enemy? You decide for yourself. Prabhupada said the purpose, are you listening?
Okay.
You can hear? Okay. Now you put your cloth back on, you look better. Saffron looks better.
Yes.
Otherwise he looks like a farmer from Italy.
Yes.
You can understand me? Enough? Okay. As long as you're smiling, that means you're understanding. If you're not smiling, it means you're not understanding me. So Prabhupada says the purpose of practicing eightfold yoga is to control the mind in order to make it a friend in the discharging the human mission. Discharging the human mission means developing love of God, Krishna Prema. That's the point. That's the human mission. Develop love for God, Krishna Prema. Unless the mind is purified and controlled, then this practice of yoga for show is simply a waste of time. One who cannot control his mind lives with the greatest enemy, and thus his life and its mission are completely spoiled. So the whole point of the yoga practice is how to purify, control the mind and senses. So the constitutional position, Prabhupada says, of the living entity is to carry out the order of the superior. The constitutional position of the living entity is to carry out the order of the superior. As long as one's mind remains an unconquered enemy, one has to serve the dictations of lust, anger, avarice, hatred, illusion, enviousness, thirst. But when the mind is conquered, one voluntarily agrees to abide by the dictation of the personality of Godhead, who is situated within the heart of everyone as Paramatma. So if we get mercy of Guru and Krishna, purified mind and senses, then we will voluntarily agree to follow the dictation or the instruction of the Lord, who is situated within the heart of everyone as Paramatma, a Chetu Guru. Real practice of yoga it means meeting the Paramatma, Krishna, within your heart, and then agreeing to follow his dictation. For one who takes to Krishna consciousness directly, perfect surrender to the dictation of the Lord follows automatically. For one who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, then his mind will remain the greatest enemy. So Prabhupada is saying the purpose of practicing yoga, how to purify and control the mind and senses so that it's acting as our friend in discharging this mission of the human form of life, to develop love for Krishna. If we're doing yoga just for show, or just to keep your body fit, or for sense gratification, or for money, 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 this is waste of time. Maybe good karmically, materialistically, but in terms of bhakti, in terms of realizing the self, hearing the Supreme Lord, agreeing to follow his instruction in order to advance in path of bhakti, to develop love for Krishna, then all of that, like any other materialistic activity or any other occupation which is not meant for that end, is just waste of time, simply waste of time. And therefore, if we are not trying, devotee means trying to purify and control mind and senses by engaging the mind and senses in devotional service to Guru and Krishna. That's what devotee means. If we do not agree to try to purify our mind and senses by surrendering to instruction of Guru and Krishna, then we're wasting our time. We're not doing the activity of devotee, or those who want to be devotee. Prabhupada says the process of Krishna consciousness is process of purification. So keeping yourself hearing and chanting about Krishna, serving Krishna, you're in the fire of Krishna consciousness. So the Guru, he gives general instructions and specific instructions. That's the fire. Then we have to agree to enter into that fire. So the Guru's instructions is creating that fire because it's directly in contact with Krishna. Krishna says, I am the sun. So Krishna consciousness, process of purification, means to bring ourselves into the fire of Krishna consciousness, to burn it off. Prabhupada gives example of making ghee, right? Isn't it? You boil, right? And as you're boiling, all the filthy stuff, it just starts to come out.
Yes.
Right? Then you clear up all the filth, and then you're left with the pure ghee. So we have so much material contamination because of asatsanga and sin, sinful desire, so much inauspiciousness. This is all like a filth. So by staying in the fire, by following instructions of our spiritual master, general instructions and specific instructions, that means staying in the fire of Krishna consciousness. And automatically, then Krishna agrees to show special mercy. I'll purify, I'll burn away all of your sinful desires, all of your sinful reactions, all of this material contamination, all of this inauspiciousness, Krishna will take away. So our body and mind, we want easygoing life. We want to enjoy. We're prone for that. We don't like tapodivyam. We don't want divine austerities. We don't want to be disciplined. We don't want to be controlled. We want to just relax. Right? We want an easygoing life as much as possible. But that's, Prabhupada said, that's contrary. An easygoing life and advancement of Krishna consciousness are incompatible.
Yes.
So Maya is just saying, just relax, just chill out, just be mellow, right? And Krishna and Guru are saying, enter into the fire. The instructions are like a fire. It says when the spiritual master is like a fire. He creates a fire, he is a fire. Because it says like fire, if you use it properly, you can get warm.
Yeah.
You can cook something nice, you can get some benefit, you can get warm if you use the fire properly. If you don't use that fire properly, you can get seriously burned. So the Guru, that's why we should have awe and reverence. Right? When you go near a fire, if you've ever been seriously burned, you're very respectful of that fire, isn't it? I remember one time I cut my finger with a knife pretty badly. So every time I use a knife, I'm just like really, really careful. Because I was negligent, I was passionate, I wasn't paying attention. I really cut myself pretty good. So if you get burned, you get cut, right, you'll be much more cautious. So the spiritual master, right, he's like a fire. If you do nicely, then you can purify all of this filth, all of this contamination, all of this inauspiciousness, all of this misunderstanding. Everything can be burned away, cleared away by the mercy of Guru Krishna. But if we don't understand it properly, we misunderstand because of this mental speculation, because of Maya, because of fault-finding tendency. Now you're playing with fire. Now you can get seriously burned. So the Guru's instructions are exactly from Krishna according to time, place, circumstance, and candidate. So everybody's meant to hear and chant. That's a general instruction meant for everybody. Hear and chant about Krishna, think about Krishna, purify your consciousness, Chaitya Dapana Marjanam, by that hearing and chanting process, Hari Katha, Krishna Nam. And then there's also specific instructions. Do this seva, that seva, you're fit for this seva, you do this seva, you do that seva. According to your nature, your qualification, what you know, what you could possibly learn, the Guru will engage you. And everything is there within those instructions. Then if we just faithfully try to, Prabhupada said, you should think, okay, Krishna has given me this instruction through my Guru, and it's confirmed by the Lord within the heart. Yes, this sounds right, and every time I accept it and follow it, I get a nice reciprocation, nice purification, nice realization. And then when I don't, and I'm stupid, lazy, crazy, don't accept it, manufacturing, concocting, doubting, twisting, changing, then we get messed up. It's as simple as that. Prabhupada said, you just chant Hare Krishna, take the medicine, take prasadam, you'll get well. Later on, you can figure out how it works. Prabhupada said, if you take poison, it's going to kill you. Sometimes you take a medicine, it heals you. You don't know biologically, chemically, how technically is it working. But you take the medicine, it works. Okay, later on, Prabhupada said, you can figure out technically, biologically, chemically, how is it actually affecting your body. So this is treatment program, general instruction, focus your life, prioritize your life, to associate with simple-hearted devotees who are trying to become devotees, trying to be devotees, by trying to purify their mind and senses on a daily basis. Make them your friend, associates, and take shelter of hearing and chanting process to, first of all, purify your consciousness. My Gurudev said, when you're preaching, first of all, preach to yourself. Purify your own consciousness. Preach for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna and for your own purification. So in all of our activities, we should be thinking how to maximize that. That's what it means to be a devotee. And then the rest of the time, we have different seva. Sometimes multiple seva, multiple responsibilities. That's arranged by Krishna through the Guru. We make that the life and the soul. Then everything you need for purification, for the fire of purification, to cultivate faith and realization and knowledge and experience, everything is built into the execution of that devotional service. My Gurudev said that the instructions of the spiritual master from Krishna are non-different from the spiritual master. So if you associate with those instructions from Krishna through the Guru, that means you're associating directly with Krishna and Krishna's representative. Now you're staying in the fire of purification, so that all of this contamination, chetodapana, all the filth, all the contamination, misunderstanding, inauspiciousness will be, eradicated, destroyed. That's what it means to be a devotee. It says even very advanced devotees or very intelligent persons, sadhus, gurus, they're also always keeping themselves in fire of purification, keeping their intelligence, mind constantly associating with absolute truth and hearing and chanting and presenting that. That's also for their own benefit as well as the other persons. If we're not willing to do that work, then we're not serious. To be a devotee, to become a devotee, to stay a devotee, then we're just, Maya will say, this is too hot. Right? I don't like when Gurudev chastises me. It's uncomfortable. I'm not an ordinary person. He should not speak to me like that in the public. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to accept that. I don't like it. It's not tasty. It's disturbing. It's confronting. So false ego is rejecting it. Maya is saying this is not nice. This is unpalatable. My Gurudev said it's a very nice medicine, bitter medicine. It said the bitter medicine is the best medicine. We want the cherry candy flavor, right? Filled with the sugar, the sweetness, right? Some medicine might be there, but the best medicine is the bitter medicine. If you really are sick, sometimes in India you get really, really sick. and somebody comes with some medicine and they say, oh, Prabhu Maharaj, this is just, I'm warning you, this is very bitter. It's not like an ordinary medicine. And you're like, I don't care. Just give it to me. This sickness is intolerable. If I have to take a bitter medicine to get rid of that, I'm ready to do it. Isn't it? Of course, if they give you nice sweet medicine that does the same thing, you would probably choose that one. But anyway, usually it doesn't look like that. It seems like it's a bitter medicine is the best medicine. Isn't it funny that things that we like to enjoy create so much disease, and the things that are the most, medicinal seem to be the most bitter? It seems counterintuitive. But anyway, we have a problem on false ego platform. This false ego, which is controlled by Maya, this is Maya's domain, is covering the soul and feeding us unlimitedly the wrong information. How not to surrender to Guru and Krishna. And then Guru and Krishna tell like this, and mind says, oh, I heard it like this. So she's twisting every instruction. And we have very selective hearing. When something is for our own sense gratification, oh, I heard that. Yes, I like that. Take prashad.
Yes,
very nice. But if something is like put us into some austerity, or some sacrifice, or some challenge, then we're like, oh.
Could you say again?
What did Guruji say? Then all of a sudden we're like,
it's so hard of hearing.
Yeah, it's very confusing. Did he just say what I think he said? And then we ask some other stupid friend, he's like, nah, he didn't say that. That wasn't meant for you. He's like, oh, great. I thought that was instruction for me. No, he was talking to Surah, It was Surah. So Maya, through the mind false ego, is deciphering what we want to accept, what we don't want to accept. What we think is for our pleasure and our benefit, then we accept it. What we think will put us in difficulty, into the fire of purification, some sacrifice, some austerity, some tapodivyam, we're like, whoa, I need to think about this. Now all of a sudden we're thoughtful men. When Guru Krishna telling to surrender, I gotta be careful. So if we will not purify this false ego and stop listening to Maya, Asat, Sangha, we cannot be a devotee. So devotee means purifying contaminated consciousness, trying to dissolve the false ego. It says that the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, it is meant to dissolve your false ego. So you can say the false ego is like big, thick, black cloud. So the sun cannot penetrate through the cloud. So the more you can purify and disintegrate or,
Shrink.
Huh? Shrink and just dissolve it. So the more the false ego is dissolved, that is process of purification, then the more that the sun, Krishna, can associate with Atma, Paramatma. There's too much noise, there's too much disturbance, there's too many other topics, too many other concerns, too many other attachments. that's getting in the way. That is the material mind. That is the playground of Maya. And we're sitting there in that playground. It's like you're going to the playground where everybody's selling crack to go on the swings. And we're just playing, and people are getting shot, they're dealing drugs. You're going to the wrong neighborhood. You're in the wrong neighborhood. You're on the other side of town. You're not in Vaikuntha. They're in the prison house. So we are living. Prabhupada says, one who cannot control his mind is living always with the greatest enemy. So your mind can be your best of friends or your worst enemy. And we have to be smart enough to analyze, okay, is my mind giving me good instruction to surrender to Guru Krishna and to have faith and to try my best to surrender and follow that? Or is it making excuses, justifying, rationalizing, ignoring, foolish, lazy? Sometimes my Gurudev would talk about the mind, he said, this rascal, stupid. He would just be so, rascal mind, stupid mind. But you're listening to it, you're trusting it, and you're misunderstanding everything. And the misunderstanding is creating chaos and confusion and havoc in your life, and still you won't give it up. This is the insanity of it, the madness of it. Because we're blind, deaf, dumb, and blind. So the constitutional position of the soul, the living entity, is to carry out the order and instruction of the superior. So we are eternal servants of Krishna. It is our constitutional position to carry out the instruction of Krishna. We were reading that also this morning, right? It is the duty, responsibility of a person in human form of life to understand what Krishna wants them to do and to agree, to cooperate, to follow and surrender to those instructions. And if we don't do that, then we're surrendering to Maya. Then we're surrendering to Maya, we're hearing Maya, Maya's plans, Maya's thoughts, Maya's emotions, Maya's feeling, and we say, that's me. I'm thinking like that. I'm feeling like that. I'm emotionally disturbed by that. No, that's not your soul, that's your mind, that's Maya, making you think and feel like that, but in illusion we're thinking, no, that's me. As long as one's mind remains an unconquered enemy, one has to serve the directions, the dictations of lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion. We're forced to serve Maya. Do like this, okay. I have to surrender. Maya's forcing me. You want to have lust? Okay, do like this. Okay, now you're angry? Okay. Now you're envious? Okay. Now you're in illusion? Okay. We're forced. Krishna says, you're going to surrender anyway. By your nature, you will be forced to act. Only thing is, do it for me. If you don't do it for me, you're going to do it anyway. But you're going to do it for Maya. You're going to do it in Maya and for Maya. So anyway you're going to do it, by your nature, you're going to act, you're going to think and act in a certain way. But Krishna says, do it for me. Mamana bhava mad bhakto. Do it for me as my devotee. That will purify you. Krishna says, if you serve me and worship me by your thoughts and activities, that will purify you and liberate your consciousness. If out of false ego you don't hear me, you don't agree to surrender and serve, then you will be bound up. Karma bandhana. You'll be bound up in this sinful activity, sinful reaction, action, reaction, birth and death. No way out. So are we purifying and liberating by our thoughts and actions, or are we contaminating and degrading? That's the only question. Are we making our mind our friend, or are we allowing the mind controlled by Maya to be our enemy? As long as we are living with the unconquered enemy of the mind, which is controlled by Maya, then we are forced to do all of these sinful things and manifest all demoniac, sinful qualities and activities. But when the mind is conquered, when one voluntarily agrees to abide, to follow the instruction or dictation of the Supreme Lord, who is situated within the heart of everyone as Paramatma. So when one agrees to find Krishna in the heart and take dictation and instruction from Krishna, inside and out, then your mind will be purified and controlled and conquered. If we cannot hear Krishna, inside and out, then you're lost because you're living in this mental gymnastics, mental speculation under false ego, under modes of nature which is controlled by Maya. So real yoga means meeting Paramatma, Krishna, within the heart, and then following his dictation. So Krishna, Paramatma, Chaitanya Guru will say, okay, I'm going to speak through pure by a medium of spiritual master. That's how you're going to hear your instruction. And then when you hear that instruction, I'll give you intelligence and faith to accept that instruction. It's not that, okay, Krishna, what should I do? Okay, here's your general instructions and your specific instructions. No, what he'll do is say, okay, I'll send you to bona fide Guru, who's pure by your medium, my devotee, my own man, and I'll speak through him. First he'll give you intelligence and faith, who is his own man. That intelligence and faith Krishna will give you. Prabhupada said that Super Soul Chaitanya Guru will dictate to you, give you intelligence. You should, this is my arrangement, you should accept this person. Definitely. Then, the rest of the instructions will come through the pure via medium of the spiritual master, who's true representative of Krishna. If you have faith that Krishna made that arrangement, if you have faith that Krishna is manifesting and speaking to the Guru, then you'll have faith that those instructions through pure via medium of Krishna is coming from Krishna, and that will be confirmed internally. Krishna will give you intelligence and faith to accept that instruction. And then when you try to execute that instruction, then you'll see the effect, the benefit, the practical results or reality of accepting Krishna through the Guru, through those instructions, making the instructions your life and soul. That will give you even more faith. That when I agree and I follow, that's my act of surrender, then I get a wonderful result. When I'm being stubborn, foolish, over-analyzing, speculating, creating, manufacturing, concocting, not surrendering, then you get opposite result. So which result do you want to live in? Do you want your life to be peaceful and easy? And very clear? Or do we want to confuse the whole thing, complicate everything by not being simple, not hearing Krishna because of false ego, Maya just whispering in the ear some opposite thing, some misunderstanding, then Krishna says, then you're lost. Then you're deaf, dumb, and blind. Then everything we do in that consciousness, the whole thing is faulty. Beginning, middle, and end. Because it's in Maya, with Maya, for Maya, ends in Maya. What is it? There was... Can we read another verse?
Yes.
Do you have patience?
Yes, Gurudev.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Mata? Krishna says, next verse, Chitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahita shitosna sukha dukeshu tata mana pamanayo. Translation. Are you with me?
Yeah.
For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached. So if you reach the super soul, automatically your mind and senses are conquered. Because you're connected with that personality who's purifying and controlling your mind and senses. So Krishna says, for one who has conquered the mind, means the super soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. What a wonderful word that is, tranquility.
Yes.
I never understood what that word meant until I met my spiritual master. He's the only one who could create an environment, an atmosphere, and a consciousness where I could begin to understand what is tranquility. I was on the battlefield. I felt like my whole life was on the battlefield. Afghanistan.
Yes.
Just fighting battles.
Yes.
One after another. Exhausted. Right? Crisis management mode. Right? Maya's creating the problem, and then we're fighting the problem that we created. Right? Maya concocted the problem, and we listened to it, created it, and then we're dealing with the fallout, the collateral damage.
Yes.
That comes because of serving Maya. So tranquility, even the word itself sounds amazing, tranquility. Right? Krishna says, if you surrender to the Super Soul today, where we're reading like that, you will achieve transcendental peace and tranquility. If there's no transcendental peace and tranquility, we have not reached Krishna. Inside or outside. Krishna says, for one who has conquered the mind, the Super Soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness, so-called material happiness and distress, heat, cold, honor, dishonor, it doesn't matter. Because they're getting their reciprocation and their happiness from Krishna inside. It doesn't matter what's happening outside. If anything, all of the calamities, all of the sufferings, all of the anxiety, all of the fear, all of the disturbance for devotee, they welcome it because it drives them to be more internal, to try to seek shelter. They don't mind it. Queen Kunti is praying, let the difficulties come. I welcome it. Because when we're in trouble, are we not chanting like anything? Are we not, Krishna, please, what's happening? Save me, I'm in huge trouble. Nobody can help me, Krishna. Then we're crying to Krishna, right? And when everything is nice, easy going, going our way, well, we're chanting, go like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. How's your rounds now, Amara? A little more intense? A little more intense? Yeah. So if we can learn, Krishna says, if you can learn to surrender to me internally and take shelter there, you will find transcendental peace and tranquility. That's the sign. That should be the effect. If we are not finding that type of reciprocation, that type of shelter, protection, peace, tranquility, it means we're still in Maya. We're still floating out there somewhere. We've not actually caught lotus feet of Krishna. We're not taking shelter of Krishna. We're not taking shelter of holy name. We're just speculating, we're wondering, we're guessing externally. That's anxiety platform. False ego, uncontrolled mind and senses, you're living with the greatest enemy. No wonder you're in anxiety. Right? If you're living with the greatest enemy, any moment something can blow up, become an immediate nuclear thermal meltdown. Yeah, you'll be in anxiety. So we need an environment of like-minded devotees who want to swim in the spiritual atmosphere and take shelter there. And everyone has some responsibility to create that. If the speaker's qualified, the hearer's qualified, Krishna will run to that place by his mercy. And when Krishna comes, then all this false ego, all this maya, all of this contamination, all this disturbance, you get a break. It's like temporarily suspended. You know, the clutch is in, you know. So if we are getting that type of internal spiritual reciprocation and full satisfaction, we read the other day, from Krishna, Rama, reservoir of all pleasure. How can we be associating, chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, the reservoir of all pleasure, and we have no idea how to get pleasure? What kind of chanting is that? You're chanting the name of the reservoir of pleasure and not getting any pleasure. That means there's something wrong with our chanting, isn't it? That's all it can be. Otherwise you'd say, this doesn't work. I'm burning holes in my finger. It's not working. I have no pleasure. I have no peace. I have no tranquility. I'm not feeling any reciprocation. Then doubts will come. Doubts will flood you, like, wow, I'm doing everything. I'm chanting. No shelter, no protection, no reciprocation, no peace, no tranquility. We're not deep enough. My Guru said if you stay on the surface of the ocean, you'll get slammed by the waves and you'll get some fish sticking in your ear. Eyeball, nose. Just fish and heavy waves. Right? But if you dive deep, then all of this current, all of this heavy waves and crashing waves, and you don't feel it. So we're not deep enough in our Krishna consciousness. This is the problem. The closer we get to Krishna, the more we will realize this internal spiritual reciprocation, where Krishna is saying, you come surrender to me, I'll make you peaceful and tranquil. I'll purify you. All your disturbance will leave you. So if we're disturbed, we're not peaceful, we're not tranquil, right? We're not free from fear and anxiety, it means we're not deep enough. So for devotee, as soon as you feel any disturbance, you go to the solution. Some fear, some anxiety, some disturbance, some confusion, anything. Some inauspiciousness. Right? That's why Queen Kunti said, let the problems come. They're going to come anyway. Material life means one problem after another problem. The whole thing is a problem. Prabhupada said the whole material existence is faulty. It's one problem after another problem. No one's looking for all of these problems. It automatically is coming. So for devotee, he doesn't mind. They don't mind because it forces us to go deeper in our chanting, in our prayerfulness, in our dependence on Krishna. It's forcing us. It's helping us to go deeper. Prabhupada says in this purport, actually, every living entity is intended to abide by the dictation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. Isn't it interesting? How this is coming up again and again and again and again. And Krishna says, out of all of the different methods of spiritual advancement, this one of surrendering, finding and surrendering to the super soul within your heart, Krishna says, I consider that to be the best means of spiritual enlightenment. Krishna says. It says one cannot be, the guru, bona fide guru, he does not recommend the surrender and worship of anybody except Super Soul, Paramatma. Because he has faith that that's where Krishna is. That's how Krishna is giving us shelter and protection. That's how Krishna will give us intelligence and faith. That's where you'll find peace and happiness and freedom from anxiety and fear. That's why he's pushing you there. He's giving you faith there. This is the instructions. This is Krishna's instructions. Guru Sadhu and Shastra instructions. These are all Krishna's instructions. You don't have to believe me. Krishna says, for one who has conquered his mind and senses means he's already reached the Super Soul Paramatma, Chaitanya Guru. Krishna says to show special mercy to my devotees, then I destroy all the tama, all the darkness, all the ignorance, all the sinful desires, all the sinful reactions, everything that is causing our suffering condition. Krishna says, I'm in your heart, and from me, I'll purify all of this thing, and then I'll give you intelligence and faith how to come to me. So when the GBC chairman says, why are you preaching about the Super Soul? I said, well, Krishna says he is the Super Soul. Krishna is saying, surrender to me as the Super Soul within your heart and the heart of every single living entity, and by that way, you will attain transcendental peace. Prabhupada says in the purport, don't take my word for it. It's not my opinion. Leave me out of it. Stop worrying about me. Listen to Prabhupada. Listen to Prabhupada instruction. Every living entity is intended to abide by, to agree, to follow the dictation or instructions of the Supreme Lord who is seated in everyone's heart as a Paramatma. That's why I'm talking about Krishna as Paramatma Maharaj. Because every living entity is meant to find him and take instruction from him. Prabhupada says when your mind is misled instead by Maya, by the external illusory energy, you're getting bad information which just leads you to become entangled in materialistic activities. So we can either hear Krishna inside and out, and if we don't choose to seriously do that, then all you're left with is Maya and Maya's instructions, and Maya will say, oh, did you think about this? What about this idea? What about this plan? What about this lifestyle? Then we're like, oh, really? Is it possible? I can enjoy it? Prabhupada said, therefore, as soon as one's mind is controlled through one of the yoga systems, one should be considered to have already reached the destination. In other words, if your mind and senses are purified and controlled, and you feel genuine transcendental peace and happiness, that means you have reached Krishna, because you cannot get that result without Krishna. That's why it says only devotee of Krishna can be peaceful and happy. Everybody else, karmis, jnanis, yogis, nobody's peaceful. Because they didn't find shelter in the final destination point, which is Krishna. And until that point, Krishna's not satisfied, we're not going to be satisfied. Our happiness is completely dependent on Krishna's happiness. So when we agree to surrender and serve Krishna and do sincere devotional service, Krishna will be happy with us. And then we'll become happy. He'll be satisfied, we'll be satisfied. That's how it works. Prabhupada says here, one has to abide by some superior dictation. Everyone's going to hear and serve. It's either going to be Krishna or Maya. It's either going to be Krishna's representative or Maya's representative. Everyone has to surrender and serve superior direction. When one's mind is fixed on superior nature, means Krishna's spiritual energy, then you have no alternative but to follow the dictation of the Supreme. So when we agree to surrender to serve Krishna, then Krishna purifies our mind and senses and directly gives us intelligence how to surrender and serve him, how to get him. If we don't make that choice, then Maya takes over, right? And then whatever thoughts and plans and activities and feelings and emotions are dragged, we also have no control. That's all under the control of Maya. So, when the mind is fixed on the superior nature, he has no alternative but to follow the dictation of the Supreme. Automatically, like a river, you're just flowing towards Krishna. So the mind, it must admit some superior dictation and follow it. So there is somebody giving us superior dictation, and that someone is the super soul. And based on our desire, that super soul will tell you how to surrender to Krishna, or if you want to forget Krishna and you want to commit sinful activity, then super soul will give you intelligence and faith how to try to enjoy Maya. Either way, super soul's given based on your desire. That's why Krishna says, if you want to worship the demigods, I'll give you intelligence and faith how to do that. You want to worship this one, that one, you want to do this and that separate from me, I'll give you intelligence and faith how to do that. Where do you think that intelligence and faith that you can achieve that is coming from? It's coming from the Supersoul. Everything's based on desire. That's why it says, Prabhupada was saying today, that this idea that you think you're independent of Krishna, it's not even possible. Because Krishna is everything. Krishna is controlling everything. The Supersoul is what and who is giving you your intelligence, either spiritually or materially. Alright, Krishna says, you want to forget me? Here's a big false ego. Here's a big black cloud which will block the sun. Okay, forget about me. Now try to enjoy. Here's how you enjoy your material sense gratification. Here's the intelligence and strength to engage in your sinful activities. Supersoul is giving you that intelligence, strength, creating an opportunity for you to commit your sinful activities because that's what your desire is. And Krishna says, if you want to remember me, I'll give you intelligence and faith and create an opportunity where you can engage in my devotional service. That's also coming from Supersoul. The mind must admit some superior dictation and follow it. So are we the servant of Krishna or are we the servant of Maya? Which way you want to live? We want to be Krishna Das? Krishna Dasi, or we want to be Maya Das, Maya Dasi? That's up to us. Leave me out of it. You figure out, what do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Why are you trying to figure me out? Figure yourself out. I got enough problems. The effect of controlling the mind, Prabhupada says, one automatically follows the dictation of the Paramatma, or the Supersoul. So if we are in touch with Krishna, internally, externally, Paramatma, Chituguru, automatically you will agree to follow Krishna's instruction. Right? So you want to surrender to Krishna? Krishna says, okay, here's your Guru, you surrender there, I'll explain everything to you through that personality. Be humble, be in the service attitude, any questions, doubts you have, naturally, I'll answer your questions and doubts through that Guru. This is the way Krishna set it up. He's not going to explain everything to you directly. The only thing he's going to tell you is who he's going to speak through. Well, I was talking to Krishna last night and Jagannath came in my dream and we were shooting the breeze and he was telling me that he liked this crown and... Right? Okay, if that's really true, then that means you're a Premi Bhakta on transcendental Raganuga platform filled with prema. If it's not true, that means you get a very creative, artistic imagination of speculation. At least it's about Krishna and not some brothel somewhere. It's like better, at least it's some spiritual topic. Any question so far? You know, it's funny, right? This is Bhagavad Gita. This is the essence of Krishna consciousness. And you guys are looking at me like this is the first time you ever heard this. You're like, you know, where's this coming from? This is like that's what they say, you know, he's like preaching some new philosophy. We never heard this before. No, it's in the Bhagavad Gita. So if everybody knows this is the secret of success, the place where you can find transcendental peace and tranquility and the answers to all of your questions, why are they not recommending this process? Why are they not emphasizing and giving you faith and directing you to Krishna inside of your own heart? And then when I preached to the devotees, they said, well, when we went to our Guru, he told us, you're not advanced enough to do this. This is 6th chapter. Okay, 6th chapter. Not even 18th chapter. Right? So then the Guru, Prabhupada said, bona fide Guru, he will not recommend surrender and service or worship to any other place except the Super Soul, Paramatma, Chaitaguru, Krishna. And Prabhupada says, and one who understands this and has a relationship with Paramatma, Chaitaguru, he can be the Guru for the whole world. If he knows that. Prabhupada says, if you don't know that, you don't realize that, you don't have a relationship with Krishna, you cannot be a bona fide spiritual master. Why they're not quoting that one? Inconvenient truth. Inconvenient truth. Problem with Murali Krsna Swami, okay, he's quoting Prabhupada, but he's not quoting what we're quoting. He's quoting some other thing. Yeah, Krishna, Prabhupada, your Guru. Why you're not teaching this, Maharaj? That means you're not doing it. If you really understand the benefit, how all the benefits will come to you by this practice, why wouldn't you be preaching that? Yeah.
Maharaj, please, but why is inconvenient for them? Sorry.
Tell me.
No, I'm sorry about my ignorance, but I don't understand why this kind of preaching is inconvenient for them.
Why what?
Why this kind of preaching is inconvenient for them.
Inconvenient for them.
Why?
For the yes.
Okay, let me put it to you this way. If I'm a bogus guru, and I give you faith, of course, a bogus guru can't give you faith and intelligence. Right? But let's say you're a disciple of a bogus guru. Right? And then I give you the means and the faith and the intelligence to how to depend on Krishna giving you intelligence and faith. That means Krishna will tell you he's bogus. You see, that's why I'm an enemy to these people. That's why I'm persona non grata. You know that one. Persona non grata. Right? Why? Because I'm giving you intelligence and faith to understand how to depend on Krishna, to understand absolutely what is true and what isn't. So I'm giving you the process, intelligence and faith from Krishna to know that they are cheating you. That's why they don't like this topic. They're not saying that I'm not quoting Prabhupada. They're just saying what you're quoting is not what we want quoted. Because that will expose us. Yes, sir.
Is it that they're not realized?
What is it?
Is it because they're not realized?
If you are realized, if you have faith in Krishna internally and externally and through the Shastra, you have to speak this truth. You would automatically speak this truth because it's the secret of success. If our whole point is how to make you successful, isn't that giving you faith and intelligence of the secret of success? So if someone is not speaking this, it means they have no idea what is the secret of success. And they're either ignorant or they're cheating consciously. Or both. Yes, ma'am?
The blind following the blind.
So it's the blind leading the blind.
That's why Prabhupada said you wanted to be cheated, so you got cheated. So when you're sick of being cheated, then you'll depend on Krishna instead of your stupid mind and senses and what the common people are saying, and you'll instead depend on Krishna to give you intelligence and faith to guide you to the right association, where you'll get the right information. How can someone be a guru and never teach anyone about Guru Tattva? The science and the subtlety of Guru Tattva. That would be like the first thing that you would teach them. Because that's the means by which Krishna is going to give you every other bit of information. So if you don't open up the means and give them the faith and understanding, then how does Krishna give you higher and higher levels of faith and intelligence? If you don't know the means by which He's delivering it. Right? So that's why it's so critical, necessary, element or procedure to understand it. Because that's how everything else Krishna is going to deliver to you. Right? That's why it says, Prabhupada says, the favor of the spiritual master is not, what is it?
It's not received by any other...
It's not received by any other means or any other part of the body except your ear. So whatever you can get, from a Daushrada to Prema, every single purification, knowledge, understanding, faith, everything is going to come to you from Krishna through your ears, into your ears. So if we don't understand that, and we don't understand that process, then how are we open to understand where we should surrender, who we should surrender to, where we should do submissive our reception? If Krishna doesn't make that arrangement, give you intelligence and faith, how you'll surrender and do submissive our reception? How will you why would you open yourself up? Prabhupada said, don't be a fool. We're not asking you to surrender and do submissive all reception to a fool. But if you depend on Krishna, Krishna, I need to hear you through your true representative. I don't know who is your true representative. Everybody's saying they're your true representative. I don't know. But you know. So kindly can you give me one of those whereby you will manifest and speak and teach through them. Then once you understand that, now you can get Krishna, how do you say, live stream. Connection. Direct connect. Prabhupada said, if you don't understand this parampara, the mystery of disciplic succession, if you don't know how to catch that up, you cannot hear Krishna.
Yes.
Krishna will not manifest except through his parampara. So that's why nobody's saying it, because they're not connected with Krishna. If you're connected with Krishna, automatically you'll say this. Automatically Krishna will make you say this. Because that's the means, the intelligence and faith you need to understand in order to receive Krishna's mercy. So if somebody not teaching you that and giving you faith and intelligence in that process, you have no means to receive Krishna. Yeah?
Yes, Maharaj. And what about those devotees that don't believe that there are pure devotees and they want to follow only Srila Prabhupada?
What about those devotees who don't see any pure devotees, so then they just want to follow Srila Prabhupada?
Yeah, I told you, I was just putting all my faith and my intelligence in Prabhupada.
Yes.
And I was crying and praying to Prabhupada, trying to please Prabhupada, trying to serve him, trying to take shelter, protection from him. And Prabhupada made an arrangement for me to meet his true representative. That was Prabhupada's arrangement. Yeah. Absolutely, for sure.
But what I would like to know is what's happened to you that destroyed this fence that you had?
What destroyed what?
The faith in what? Destroyed the faith in what?
No, the fence, the conception that there's only Prabhupada as pure devotee. What's happened to you that destroyed your conviction that only Prabhupada was a pure devotee and the one to follow?
My conception and faith that Prabhupada is a pure devotee only increased by association and hearing from Srila Gour Govinda Swami.
How Gour Govinda Swami make you believe that?
Because listen, he has faith way beyond my faith and understanding. He has love and affection and unflinching faith way beyond what I had. I was like a child compared to him. But what he did was he shared his faith. He gave me his faith by his causeless mercy. So Prabhupada said association means to hear. So if you can hear nicely from somebody who has unflinching faith and complete knowledge of Krishna, then potentially, by their mercy, you will realize Krishna and you will have also unflinching faith. By that association, by that hearing process, this transference of faith, by hearing from someone who has faith.
So we can say that there are pure devotees actually at the moment on the planet.
Of course.
Of course.
Has to be. Has to be.
Because there's someone
Now the
that
question
that
is, now the question is, how you're going to know who are they? How will you know who is pure devotee? Who will tell you? Right? Could be one, could be two, could be three, could be five, could be 100. That's not the point. The point is, let me just try to find one. Right? So without Krishna's mercy, without the soul crying to Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, then how will you get their merciful intelligence and faith to understand who will present as it is? You see? So if you realize how dangerous it is, how confusing it is, how disturbing it is, how unqualified we are, how deaf, dumb, and blind we are, how are we going to know who's pure devotee? The problem is we're thinking we can see a pure devotee. So we're jumping on the Sadhu Express, going to every town and village looking for the pure devotee. Maybe. Or sometimes you just get tired of the road trip. Couldn't find one. Then just when you basically gave up and you said, okay, I couldn't see them, I couldn't find them, then all of a sudden, like miraculously, Prabhupada brings his dear devotee disciple to me. I was not looking for a guru. I don't think I need a guru, because I have Prabhupada. But Prabhupada knows I need a guru. So Krishna Prabhupada convinced me this is his arrangement. And you should be fortunate and smart enough to understand it and accept it. Take it. So.
yes, because through the association you had with Gour Govinda Swami, you got some good results. Yes, you could understand that. Oh my God!
Exactly. See, I already saw. I dedicated my life to Prabhupada. I surrendered because of Prabhupada. He convinced all of us to come. Right? His books, his teachings, his translation convinced all of us to come. No doubt about it. Otherwise, without Prabhupada, none of us will be here today. Absolutely. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
And then I tried my best to follow all the Prabhupada instructions, all sadhana, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, minimum 16 rounds, Mangalati, Bhagavatam, all day distributing Prabhupada's books for years and years. I tried my best. I studied Prabhupada's books 2-3 hours a day. I worshiped Prabhupada Murti. I took care of Prabhupada in Los Angeles in Temple. Right? I tried my best to serve and please Srila Prabhupada. And by him sending Srila Gour Govinda Swami, I took that as love and reciprocation and a great gift of mercy to me from Srila Prabhupada. So I saw how far I could go spiritually by just following all rules, regulations, sadhana, chanting, distributing books, worshipping Prabhupada, studying Prabhupada's books. I could measure that. Right? I could understand. Right? Prabhupada said, you should be introspective to see how much advancement are you making. Right? Then I heard from Srila Gour Govinda Swami every day. Then I could understand what I thought I knew, as far as I could go, was very limited. And I didn't know that until he brought me to another level by his causeless mercy, where I could then compare the difference between sadhana and reading the books and listening to Prabhupada's tapes versus hearing directly from Brah and hearing his faith and understanding and explanation of Prabhupada's books and teachings. That was completely different level. So when people are arguing, sadhana, program, chanting, reading the books, okay, no, my Guru said no loss. But if you really want to advance, then you need higher association, direct association with Krishna Mahaprabhu's parampara. Because that's where Mahaprabhu, Krishna, it will manifest to you. That type of food for your soul, that's what we should be hankering after. That's what we should be greedy for. That's the only thing I did right in my life. Honestly, if I analyze the whole thing and all of my practice and study and everything, the best thing I did is I somehow became greedy to hear Krishna Prabhupada through Srila Gour Govinda Swami. Not just inquisitiveness or curiosity, extreme greediness. I have to know. I need to know everything. Every single piece I need to understand. That kind of greed, that is required. And if you're like that, in front of Krishna, in front of Krishna's true representative, you will get all of their mercy and blessing, for sure. Yeah.
Yes. Even because if it's not like this, I mean that if it is not as you say, there's no anymore Guru Parampara. If anyone say, I want only Prabhupada as my
Prabhupada
Guru.
said Parampara is always manifesting. There's always a present link. Because otherwise, if Krishna Mahaprabhu wants to save the fallen souls, he needs a mouthpiece. He needs some place that he can generate and appear in that transcendental sound vibration. Because if people do not hear that, no one can get purified, no one can get out of ignorance, no one can get faith, so then no one gets saved. If Mahaprabhu is coming to save the fallen conditioned souls, that means he has to constantly keep trying to manifest and speak through his representative pure bio medium in order that they generate that transcendental sound vibration where Krishna agrees to enter inside of that sound. Without that association with that Krishna in the form of that transcendental sound, we cannot even purify our consciousness. What to speak of developing faith or the transcendental, subtleties of transcendental knowledge. So Krishna is always manifested. Now the question is, where is he manifesting? Right? Who's he manifesting through? So all the people acting like Guru, they're saying he's manifesting through me. I'm Parampara. I'm speaking about Krishna, means Krishna manifesting there. But is it true? Is the effect, is the faith, is the realization, is the food for the soul, is that convincing you? That's the only question. So I got that, causeless mercy of my Guru and Prabhupada, Krishna, Mahaprabhu. I got such unbelievable great fortune meeting my spiritual master. I cannot explain to you. It's inconceivable mercy.
So,
but with that mercy comes responsibility. Because Mahaprabhu's movement is not a selfish movement. It's not, okay, I got everything, I understood everything by mercy of my Guru and Krishna, the hell with everybody else. No, if you understood this and you got mercy of Guru and Krishna, you have to speak this thing. It's part of the deal. It's part of the agreement. And it says if you don't, then you're doing violence. You're committing violence. If you have a means to help somebody from their suffering condition and you don't help them, or at least make every effort to help them, then you're committing violence. Because you're allowing them to suffer. So devotee, those who want to be devotee, they want to help people to get out of their suffering condition. Before I met my Gurudev, I was groping in the darkness. I was suffering like anything. Uncontrolled mind and senses. I don't know what to do, where to do. And I'm doing all of this savor and service and sadhana and chanting and book distribution. It wasn't enough. And that was bewildering to me. How is it like this? Why am I not getting shelter and protection? Why do I feel dissatisfied? Why am I still not peaceful? Then cry before Krishna, cry before Prabhupada. And Prabhupada delivered his greatest mercy on me by sending me his dear devotee, disciple, Premi Bhakta, Mahabhagavata, Nitya Siddha, Radha Priyasaki, devotee. Topmost devotee. That's who I got as my Guru. That's who I was trying to surrender to and listen to and learn from. That's where I got my faith from. What I'm sharing with you is the faith and realization and experience I got by the mercy of my Gurus, Prabhupada and Srila Gour Govinda Swami. If I'm depending on Guru and Krishna, Krishna knows what everyone needs to hear. So my faith is that he'll help me to explain, sometimes strong, but sometimes we need strong. Because we need to be convinced. See, the Guru, he doesn't mind what is your job, what is your seva. Because it's not up to the Guru. Whether you're married, not married, this job, this service, that service, that doesn't matter to the spiritual master. He just simply asking Krishna, how do you want, what is best for this person to serve you in bhakti, in devotional service? That's all. So if you're praying to Krishna and we're praying to Krishna, then now it's up to Krishna, inside and out, to convince you. If you want to be convinced, but if you already made up your mind, no, I already decided I'm going to do like this, like that. Okay. My only question is, you want to do devotional service? Yes. So if Krishna doesn't accept it, then what is the meaning of your devotional service? It has to be what Krishna wants us to do, and we agree, we take the dictation, we take that instruction, and we try our level best to please Him. Then that is devotional service. And Prabhupada says anything else that's not for pleasing Krishna, is not what Krishna asking you, is Maya. It will just bind you. Action, reaction, cycle of birth and death is death. Maybe we can read this other verse, we can discuss it further than that. So ask Krishna. It's not like a negotiation.
Yes.
You know, we're not into a negotiation with Krishna. All right, Krishna, all right, you're asking me this part I can do, but I want to do like this. It's not like a business deal. It's just, Krishna, I'm your servant. How can I serve you? And that instruction comes internally through the Guru, confirmed by Krishna, Chaitaguru Paramatma. And then when you do it, you get a great result. It's undeniable result. That will give you faith. It's practical. And if you don't do it, you doubt it, you're being lazy, crazy, then you get a different result.